Okay, so when most people think about Bitcoin, their minds probably jump straight to finance, fluctuating prices, or, lines of incredibly complex computer code. But to really grasp what this technology represents, we have to look much, much deeper. We need to view it as a massive, multidisciplinary triumph. The true genius of this system is that it operates just like a giant suspension bridge. And this bridge? It's supported by the entirety of human knowledge, suspended perfectly between the exact sciences on one side and the humanities on the other. Let's dive right into this. Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah, we are going all the way back to da Vinci. He famously believed that to achieve a truly complete mind, you have to study both the art of science and the science of art. He urged us to realize that everything connects to everything else. And honestly, this exact Renaissance mindset, this ability to look across vastly different disciplines and synthesize them, is absolutely crucial for solving complex modern problems. Which brings us to the concept of the polymath. Basically, a polymath is a lover of many learnings, someone who discovers totally new ideas by crossing over multiple fields of study. When the foundational Bitcoin white paper dropped in 2008, experts immediately realized it wasn't just some clever software program. The convergence of disciplines required to build it meant the creator literally had to be a polymath. They weren't just slapping existing building blocks together. They were pulling from computer science, economics, statistics, and law to create a remarkably simple solution to an unbelievably complex problem. So, let's take a look at this polymath's blueprint. Think about a suspension bridge. It totally relies on seemingly opposite forces and massive distinct pillars to stay standing, right? Well, the creator of this network couldn't just master one subject. To build this infrastructure, they had to construct two massive, completely distinct pillars. Over on one side, we have the exact sciences, the cold, hard logic of computer science, math, and statistics. But on the other side, and this is equally important, is the pillar of the humanities, the fluid, deeply psychological nature of economics, law, and human behavior. Let's start by constructing Pillar 1, the exact sciences. The foundation of this first tower requires an absolute mastery of hard logic. We're talking about computer science and advanced cryptography to secure the data. We're looking at thermodynamics and energy efficiency, which dictate exactly how physical power gets converted into digital security. And, of course, distributed network architecture. These specific scientific disciplines, they are completely objective and uncompromising. They don't care about human feelings or opinions. They just execute the code. Now, what's really fascinating about the underlying math is its reliance on a Poisson model based on binomial distribution. I know, that sounds super academic, but according to the research we're exploring in today's explainer, this exact statistical formula sits at the absolute core of the original white paper. This isn't just arbitrary math. It was specifically used to quantify and solve information systems risk. It mathematically proved that a network could actually secure itself without relying on some trusted third party. And it really all boils down to the point summarized perfectly by this idea. Bitcoin is backed by mathematics. This network achieves scarcity, divisibility, and recognizability, but not by relying on physical properties like gold or silver, and definitely not by relying on our trust in central authorities or governments. Its integrity is protected by the inviolable, unbreakable laws of mathematics. But hang on a second. We really need to pause here and ask a fundamental question. Who actually enforces these rules? I mean, math alone can't create a functioning money, and it certainly can't create a society. A bridge with only one pillar is just going to collapse. And that brings us to the second tower of our bridge, Pillar 2, the humanities. You see, this is the very first technology that literally incorporates human nature as one of its core moving parts. Its social engine runs on economic incentives, a collective social contract, behavioral law, and an individual self-interest. It totally recognizes that humans are self-serving. Users organically enforce the rules of the network simply by acting in their own best interest. If you follow the rules, you get rewarded. If you try to break them, the network just ignores you and you lose money. It is an absolute masterpiece of behavioral economics. What's wild is how much this brilliant design mimics biology. Just consider nature's decentralized networks like tree roots, lightning, or neural pathways. There was actually this amazing experiment where scientists placed oat flakes, which happens to be the favorite food of a simple slime mold, in the exact pattern of Tokyo's subway stops. Within just a single day, The organism organically grew to connect all the stops in a way that was actually more energetically efficient than the design created by central human planners. Turns out we can learn a thing or two from a slime mold. The network mimics this organic, decentralized intelligence, relying on thousands of independent human nodes making selfish decisions that ultimately benefit the entire system. Which leads us to this really profound realization. Bitcoin is a social breakthrough, not a technological one. The true genius here isn't just that it's a clever piece of open source software. It's how the protocol operates as a brand new social institution, a leaderless, distributed incentive structure that people completely freely opt into. Let's take a closer look at that social contract.
So how do these two massive pillars actually connect? Well, it's a remarkably delicate balance. On one side, you have the protocol layer, the exact sciences. This is the math, the code, the rigid enforcement. But then you have the social layer, representing the humanities. This is human consensus, our self-interest, and the actual rules we all agree to follow. The rules of the system are decided by the social layer, but they are flawlessly enforced by the protocol layer. You literally can't have one without the other.
There's a great observation from the source material that captures this perfectly. By inventively aligning human self-interest with its own self-interest, the network managed to grow organically. That incredible synergy between human psychology and cryptographic math is exactly what took this network from a quirky conceptual idea on a cryptography mailing list back in 2008 to the massive, resilient global system we see today. So, where does crossing the bridge actually take us? We can trace a really clear timeline of evolution as we walk across this bridge. It started back in 2008 simply as a digital cash protocol, just a way to send value without needing a bank. Fast forward to the present, and we're seeing the explosion of smart contracts and smart property. Imagine buying a car where the title transfers instantly to you via computer code, no DMV paperwork, no waiting in lines. And looking toward the future, we're heading straight into decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. These are entirely automated systems where repetitive administrative tasks like payroll or accounts receivable could be managed completely by artificial intelligence and code. And this brilliantly illustrates how the technology moves far, far beyond just finance. Because the ledger is completely transparent and immutable, we are looking at some incredible new applications. We're talking about transparent charity auditing, where you, as a donor, can track your specific funds in near real time, practically eliminating fraud. We're seeing decentralized telecommunication mesh networks that can provide internet access without relying on massive corporate monopolies. There's even a huge push for public scholarly accountability, transforming academic peer review into a verified public record of critique rather than a hidden, gate-kept process. But, for any of this to truly become a permanent fixture in our global infrastructure, it needs time. This is what's known as the Lindy effect. It basically states that for non-perishable things like information, or in this case, software code, the longer it survives, the longer its future life expectancy becomes. Every single day that this network operates successfully without being hacked or shut down, the human trust placed in it continuously grows. Just like gold earned its trust over thousands of years, this mathematical protocol is out there earning global trust day by day. We've seen how the exact sciences lay down this unyielding mathematical foundation and how the humanities fuel the organic social engine on top of it. So as mathematics merges ever closer with human culture, will this suspension bridge carry us into a completely new era of human coordination? Will we actually rebuild our societal institutions based on verifiable code and aligned self-interest? The blueprint is there, and the bridge is built. Now it's really up to us to cross it and see what's on the other side.